What's good? I'm Day. I want to talk to you today about this theory that my wife has. She's a holistic healer, so she looks at life from a different perspective. And she gives me insight, and we discuss that stuff. And then I give her insight, and we come up with new hypotheses. And um, yeah, we just try to critically think in order to make sense of life and to understand our role even more. And so today I want to discuss something with you based on her philosophy or her hypothesis, which is that we live in a symbiotic ecosystem. I thought it was like one of the most profound hypotheses she's ever presented to me. Even though she has a lot that are great, this one directly involved me. And I believe that you could really benefit from this as well and really walk away like, damn, like this is really food for thought. So basically, she opened up this idea to me with the concept of terrariums, tomato, who gives a fuck. If you go and search up one of those, if you already know what it is or you don't know what it is, you'll see that you probably don't know much about them unless you make them yourselves. Go on YouTube, just type in terrarium, and you'll see that it's like this tank or a ball. You can have them in tank form, you can have them in like sphere form, and basically it's a ecosystem. So it's plant life in there, and then there's living organisms all within there, microscopic and stuff that you could see with your eye. Insects, animals, you could put whatever in it. It's just living organisms, different elements like water. There's wind that's inside of there, but it's because it builds its own weather. So the more sophisticated, the more complex the terrarium is going to be um in its habitat. You know what I mean? In its nature. So yeah, I went after she presented this idea, and we're gonna go further into this. But after she presented it, I start studying these, and I really like. I want one of my own. I want a really cool one. You don't. Some people open it to clean them, but like the really sophisticated ones, you don't have to do shit with them. You don't touch them at all. They just do their own thing. Literally, they do their own thing. So it's life within this ball that you get to observe. So you're like kind of playing God, looking outside of it, and you're just seeing life do its own thing within this tank. It's so interesting. It's so fascinating. And she pointed out that like everything in there is important because each element, each living organism in here, it the survival of the terrarium is dependent on each organism. I was like, damn. So that's us, you think? And she's like, yeah, I think so. Because we talk about like the shape of the world a lot. We talk about sphere Earth and flat Earth and all these different things. I don't give a shit what shape it is. I think that we truly do live in one of those because when you have one in front of you that's sophisticated, you're like, wow, Earth seems to be like the coolest version of this. Earth seems to be like the most grand version of a terrarium. They have other words for, I think, verarium. I don't know the difference. I really didn't get that far down the rabbit hole of this whole world. There's people who spend so much money on it. YouTube channels with millions of subscribers that you probably never even knew existed that dedicate like their life to this shit. So the more sophisticated it gets, the more you see like, damn, it's just life. It's just Earth. It's just Earth. But Earth is like the coolest version of this because here we are. And you don't have humans inside of a inside of a tank. Some people put snakes in theirs and other like, wildlife, birds and stuff like that. But you don't have one where, humans and them building the shit that we have here. So I think this is the most sophisticated one. And, you know, we end up being a world full of light and darkness. You got war and famine and all kind of crazy shit, disease and just murder in general, like all kind of stuff. And then you have all this beautiful stuff. You have the beauty that life creates already on its own, like the nature if humans didn't exist, which one point I'm sure we did not exist. That's what, scientists argue. That's what historians argue. And that's something that I could completely, I could believe that. That's easy to believe if I, you know, just want to dive into it. I don't really give a fuck at the moment too. But you can see the sophistication and the beauty of life, and then us on top of it when we're actually operating um, according to nature, we display beauty as well, just through creation. That things that we manifest from our mind into the physical realm is beautiful. And then just even our love for one another, when we actually truly have love in our heart, just community doing real community, people, making love and having children and taking care of their neighbors, all that good shit. Like, there's so much beauty in life, right? There's two sides of the coin. And the symbiotic ecosystem itself, like when you actually have a terrarium and you're thinking about the dependency that uh, these organisms have when it comes to one another's relationship, even if they hunt one another, like say the lizard hunts the crickets and all that, like the lizard needs food. And then when the lizard shits, it produces some kind of soil, probably for the ground. I don't know these things. Like, I'm not an expert in this, so I'm just talking out of my ass a little bit. But like, it's a circle of life like going on in this thing. And that made me see like how important our role truly is, and how when you're self-actualized and you actually know that that's you in there, that you're more sophisticated than the lizard or any animal that you put inside of this tank, that you are the most sophisticated animal. I don't mean just like you're sophisticated in your design. You could be, we could be, because our hearts and our brains, like, they pulse and they create a certain frequency, and we're able to create and manifest in this world. And animals can create and manifest as well, but they can't innovate. They just do what they do. You can predict their behavior. You know what I mean? It's called like lizard brain. And we have a piece of that in us where we have predictable behavior, but a lot of it is unpredictable. And we can do new things because there's something going on in here. And I don't think anybody has really solved it, at least not in this time. I'm sure the ancients like had a better grasp than us, but when you do your historical research, you realize everybody is trying to like interpret it from their perspective. And my whole point of saying this is like, you as a super sophisticated being, as a human, and being in this symbiotic ecosystem, like your role is so essential and so vital. So when you're fucking everything up, when you're brainwashed and you're messing up the ecosystem, you're ruining yourself. So on this channel, I speak about capitalism, speak about genocide, and all kind of other stuff that occurs in life and why people probably do these things. And a lot of the reason is because subconsciously they were programmed to view life that way. Like, they just believe I can take, take, take. I can take. And what I see is that I don't have it all the way figured out. Maybe I never will. Maybe I will one day. But my wife brought this up as well. Parasites, people have found them to not be natural. It's like alien, like parasites, microscopic and ones you can see with your eye. Like, they just take. They just find a host and they take, and they don't give anything back. So they don't participate in the circle of life. They're not necessary. You destroy them, the ecosystem actually is going to be better. Nothing is supposed to eat them and shit them out and make something great out of them, like a beautiful tree or anything. Like, they just are horrible. Whatever they get into, whatever they, whoever or whatever they host from, they destroy. Where they come from, I have no idea if they're laboratory created or if they just like spawn from something that is out there. I don't know if there's creators here that design them to make life hard. I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. I'm not going to pretend like I do. A lot of people like to do that, like, oh yeah, it comes from this and blah, blah, blah. You read this book and shut the fuck up. You only have been alive for so long. How would you know, dumbass? I don't care how much information you have. Like, it doesn't mean that nobody can land on an answer with this, but like a lot of people just like to spit out of their mouth. They fucking know. No, you don't. No, you don't. Parasites are unnatural. You are natural. So when somebody is like hijacked subconsciously, it's probably like a parasitic thing going on internally. It really probably is. Most of us actually have parasites in our body from the food, especially if you like in the water. If you live in places that have been polluted and have been um, simulated to bring about your demise and your community's demise, all that shit, bro, is like think about that mindset. How it's just like this tick, 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 tick mindset, and how it doesn't contribute, and how much better the world would be if we just didn't have that here. The problem is greed here, and parasites are greedy. They're greedy, and so I question everybody that I see in my day to day, like just human beings that are extremely greedy and take and don't care about their neighbor, don't care about their own family, just care about themselves and their own survival. And then those who are like living their life based on contribution. Big difference. Big difference in mentality. You know what I mean? Big difference. Everything that people like us do, we're like, how can I just do something good so that my family could be taken care of, so that my neighbors could be taken care of? I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna take care of me. Yeah, sure, but there's so much more that I could do beyond me. And that's really like that boils down to the fact that the self-actualized being understands again their role in nature. So when you really view this whole world as a symbiotic ecosystem, it's like, oh, I really do matter. I really matter for the survival of the world. Now, if I passed away, if you passed away, this one person, of course the world is still going to go on. If you've experienced loss, if you've experienced death in your family or a friend or something like that, it's sad as fuck. It's like the worst part of grief is to realize that everybody, that same day that the person passes away, they have to do their life. They have to continue to do life. They have to go to work. They have to go to school. They have to make money. They have to take care of all their other little responsibilities. And on the other side, they're also enjoying life. So you see people smiling and living life and doing their thing as they should when somebody you love has passed away. Unless it's unless it's they family too or something like that, then you got to question them, like, why are you so happy like during this time? Like, we're supposed to be mourning? Do you not have a heart? Aside from that, everybody's living their life. You do it when people's family members die, when people are going through absolute tragedies in their life. You have to continue to enjoy your life and handle responsibilities. And even if you hate your fucking life, you still got to continue hating it. You got to still continue tending to it. But as the self-actualized being, you realize, like, even though I'm small when it comes to, damn, this wind is blowing. My bad, the wind got crazy as hell. I'm new to these heights. I'm new to this balcony, so I was like, nigga, let me go in the house real quick. I'm not about to die making no goddamn video. Anyways, even though you are like small in the grand scheme of whatever the hell we live on that they call Earth, you still realize how important you are when it comes to this ecosystem. It depends on you. It actually depends on you. And so when you're a being who actually has purpose, like animals have purpose too. They're important. They help our ecosystem. Everything does that's living and is good, is pure. Even when it looks predatory, like it's still good. But you have the ability to influence. You have the ability to highly influence. Like the closest thing to us that I've observed seems to be, gorillas and monkeys and stuff like that. And I don't subscribe to the process of evolution when it comes to, I do subscribe to evolution, but not in the general sense when it's just like, we were monkeys, we were apes. Because I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the apes and monkeys these days? Like, I'm critically thinking about it. If you could really answer that and make it make sense, I will still give you my ear. Like, I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. I haven't had anybody make sense yet in my life when it comes to that perspective of evolution. So I know that a monkey and a gorilla can't get on camera and like talk to you about self-actualizing, but I can. Even if I'm like super close in relation to them, they can't do what I'm doing, my nigga. They can't do it. They have other things about them that are highly sophisticated. They have capabilities outside of mine, like their super strength and all that. I can never be no goddamn gorilla. I can never have palms like a monkey and rip your face off. I'm just not that. Actually, there's one guy though that does do it. That rock climbs, some black guy. I seen that shit before. He's actually like super. Um, I like I understand who I am, and when you understand who you are, you like really contribute in a new way because there's new levels to unlock. Like who I was as a kid, he couldn't contribute the same way that this guy that you're looking at right here can. He could never do it back in his immaturity and his youth, but he was designed to be able to graduate to that point, but he didn't know it because there's not a lot of people who actually do it. So it's like how far can a human actually take it in this ecosystem, and what can come about due to their actions? What can come about in this life? What can actually happen? Because when you watch people innovate, when you watch human beings innovate, it's actually like it's mind blowing to see how much they transform the world. Like I talk to people, even though he was an asshole in many different ways. When I talk to people about Steve Jobs being an innovator, being a visionary, and like truly studying him, I'm like, do you understand? He's not only responsible for the iPhone, he's responsible for the smartphone. Do you understand that? Like he pushed a lot of boundaries. Do you understand when it comes to Pixar's like animation? Like he started with Toy Story, I believe, and that was super innovative during the time, and then it only progressed after that, and it only progressed because Steve Jobs was the first one to be like, no, we could do this. Even though it was tedious work, he was like, we can do this. Even though he was an asshole about it, he was like, we can do this. So when it comes to these smartphones, these smart devices that we have that are a double-edged sword, it's horrible in a lot of ways, but it's really great in other ways. I'm able to do this due to a smartphone very conveniently. And then I'm able to get on it and actually talk to people at the same time. So I don't have to run to different devices and do a bunch of things in order to do what I do here. It's just on one device. I make it more efficient by uploading these longer videos to my laptop, but then they go right back to my phone. So the process of a person self-actualizing and understanding that they have more power than what they were told growing up or what they've seen growing up, and then maturing to that point and doing something new in the world and watching the world like dramatically change due to them even after death is like it's been the most mind-blowing thing to me since I was a kid. Once I finally understood what that was. Once I saw that like all the inventions that I like mess around with that are sophisticated, once I realized like, oh, this came from somebody's head, I was like, wow, what can I do? Like, what can I actually do? What can I do? I don't really invent things with my hands. I'm not a handy guy. I'm not like some computer nerd and stuff like that. But I am genius in my own way, and so are you. And these ideas that you have in your head, a lot of them are shitty, but then you have like this one or these few that are just like what the symbiotic ecosystem actually needs, like what it truly needs. The world, literally, the world has changed due to one man named Steve Jobs and his team. But it started in his head. So I say one man, even though they were absolutely essential, even though they were the ones, because he didn't have the expertise to be able to take the device and take this supercomputer and put it into this small little compact thing. Like he kept coaching a team of people and was like, no, we can't do it. When they said, no, we can't, he pushed past their limitations in their mind and he said, we can, we will. And they did it. They all did it as a team. And now look, the whole world has a smartphone, bro. The whole fucking world has smartphones. Every country has smartphones in it. That's mind-blowing. Not every village, not every town, not everybody even has electricity. Actually, shout out to my boy Moise. He's bringing electricity to the world through solar power. Not everybody has access to a smartphone. Not every human, due to circumstances, but every place has smartphones in it. Doesn't matter if it's Android, doesn't matter if it's iPhone. Steve Jobs is the creator of smartphone. What the fuck? And he's done other things on top of it. He created the iPod and all that stuff. He created the ability for us to download music directly to a little device instead of having CDs and all this other stuff. And now it's all on this phone because other people took the same exact concept and just built on top of his work. And just like fused all his work together to make it more efficient for you as the user. That's one person's idea. There should have been somebody else who came along to advance this, but it hasn't still to this day in 2026. But there's so many other industries out there that are in desperate need of human beings that are innovative. So many industries out there that have so much space for people to come in and believe in something grand that came from their head and manifested into reality and change this world. That's insane to me. Do you hear what I'm saying? That is you playing your role and contributing. So, Steve Jobs, it's not whether or not he was an ass to the whole. All caps. Okay? All caps. He just was. But the nigga played his role. He could have did it better. He could have been a better human and more loving in his approach completely. Something was filthy and rotten in here, his privilege and all kind of other stuff. But he did what he needed to do to bring a better way of communication for you and I, right? Thank you, Steve Jobs, for your contribution, sir. Wherever the fuck you at. I argue that majority of people would be profoundly better human beings if they realize how much of themselves exists within you and the rest of the world, the animals, the trees, and all that. Like, niggas colonize and take from the land and sell it. Like, tomorrow, I'm going on an excursion. I'm supposed to be on an excursion. I'm taking you with me. I'm going like 5 hours away from where I live right now, still in the same country in Albania. I'm going on this grand excursion, right? And it's into nature, what me and my family love. We're going into nature, and we're going to be just chilling and having a good time and being present. And I was like sitting there thinking like, wow, that's so cool. I can do this. It costs some money, but that's crazy that it costs money, actually. Like, cost money to get there is cool, but it costs money to actually enjoy this whole trip. And it's not like super pricey, but at the same time, it costs. And I was like, wow, somebody just like bought this land or something, or got some kind of license to be able to like, or some kind of permit, some shit to be able to say, I can capitalize off of the nature and have people come, pay me, and we do this whole thing. Like I said, I'm all for the workers getting paid that are taking me there, driving me there and all that. I don't know shit. I don't know how to get over there. I don't know the land. I will pay for the tour. I'll pay for all that stuff. But when it comes to the land itself, why am I paying for nature? You know what I mean? I'm not fighting it, but I see capitalism everywhere. I'm just like, wow, we have to pay for everything. We have to pay for everything. And it's because a lot of people don't have respect for the world. Like, how can you take something that is living? The terrarium is alive. Like, the earth is actually alive. It's alive. Is it one being? I have no idea. I can't tell you if earth is just one, like, big giant and it's just sitting there like, fuck, they pimping me. But it's cool. I don't know. I hope not, because that'd be sad. But, like, that's the reality of it, is that people see, like, freedom. They see opportunity and they're like, wow, this is so beautiful. I love it. Wow, I can't get enough of this. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to set up shop and we're going to charge people for this thing that we discovered here that existed long before us. Just nobody seems to occupy it. But that's because I don't think anybody before you, at least for a long time, cared to occupy it. They just were like, this is something that people should enjoy. Like, it baffles me that there's certain places where the beach, like, it costs to actually be at the beach. I'm not talking about just parking your goddamn car. I'm talking about actually, like, being at the beach. So if you literally, like, live by the beach and you walk over there or something, take a bus over there, and then you get out, before you get there and get on the sand, somebody says, here, pay $20 or however much, even if it's a damn penny. Why am I, unless this is going to some kind of great cause that's helping the rest of the world or preserving the nature here, what are we doing? But there's somebody that you have to pay. And it's the same concept like in certain countries. I know it's like this in the United States, nigga. In a lot of places, to drive on the highway, you have to pay a toll. Somebody owns this bridge, and for me to get to the next place that I want to go to, I have to pay $15, $20? Are you serious? I have to pay? If you go to New York City, bro, there's all these bridges and you got to pay. I'm like, I have to pay like everywhere I go and for everything that I do here. Like every just to exist in New York City, you have to pay like constantly. It's insane. I'm like these systems and like these financial structures, they only exist because there's people behind them that don't understand their role here and everybody else's. Like, how could you do this? How could you pimp the world like this, bro? You don't get that you live in a symbiotic ecosystem. I need you, you need me. What are you doing? Life isn't about the dollar. What are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? We can enjoy abundance if we just didn't. Everybody would be like your objective as a colonizer is to become filthy rich. Did you know that you're filthy rich in your freedom, existing with other people because everything is yours and everything is theirs? But niggas are like, no, I don't want it to be theirs. I want it to be mine. And I want to be above everybody. That's the only way that you have a 99% while you're a 1%. A 1% wouldn't exist unless I'm a pimp. I have to be a pimp. That's the way a lot of people see it. But that's a fucking parasite. That's a parasite. So even if you're a human being and you get down with that, you subscribe to that, you're a parasite. You're parasitic from the inside. You're not self-actualized. You're the opposite of that. Like you literally are. You're lost. You're lost. So I'm looking at all these people that they label as elites, and I'm like, they're the opposite, bro. They're the opposite. They literally are so scared. Parasites are scared. You expose parasites, they're like, I need a host, or I'll die. I'll die. Like they're going wild, trying to find the next host because they're going to die very quickly if you take them from who they're hosting from. If you take them from a host and just put them in a tank or something, and they can't exist. They can't exist. So I'm really, my argument here is that we need to move as self-actualized beings to a completely holistic way of living, from what we intake and to what we like what we output is what I'm trying to say. That's it. What we output, what we intake and what we output. Like if you think holistically and you feed yourself holistically and like your perspective is going to be holistic. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Your perspective is going to be, it's not going to be parasitic. And if you keep on feeding yourself from that perspective, like by nature, you're going to play your role and heal the world. You're going to heal the world. You're going to be thinking about others consistently. You're going to be thinking about your role, and you're not going to feel shitty about yourself either, because I said it in multiple videos. The self-actualized being, immediately, as soon as they start their journey of self-actualization, when they realize like, oh, I'm bigger than what I perceived or what the world told me just yesterday or just earlier today, they graduate to this point of like receiving extreme levels of confidence, self-esteem. That's the second to last on the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Self-esteem right underneath. So you acquire that and you grow in those as you continue to self-actualize. You continue to grow in your self-actualization journey. You continue to have more self-esteem because you know who you are and you know what your role is, and you actually do it profoundly because it's your thing. You figured out your thing, how you're supposed to contribute. And these parasites think that their contribution is monopoly and being good at that. And it's like, but you're taking from the world. It's actually visibly getting fucked up day after day as you continue to do that. You're polluting. Like niggas are building the data centers, just to let you know, are going to be obsolete because AI is already here on everybody's devices offline. So I'm not even like anti-AI all the way. I still am anti-AI, but I'm like, I'm not all the way, because if we all just had it on our devices and we just used it as a tool, then it could be a great assistant. But they're trying to replace the human being. It's the parasites trying to replace the human being with artificial intelligence because it won't ever get tired and it's smarter than people. So it'll just like do the work that they want done. They're not thinking about innovation and all this shit. In their mind, they're like, we're the innovators, we're God, we're everything. And so they're like, we can just take from the world, and artificial intelligence will take care of like those who we're trying to exterminate, which is the human beings who are scum. On the Matrix, Agent Smith on the first one, he's talking to Morpheus when he captures Morpheus. He's in the building and he's talking about how they feel about humans, and he's like rubbing Morpheus's head and like touching the sweat, and he's disgusted, and he talks about like how much he's disgusted with humans and the world that we live in and all that. And that is the colonizer, the elite mindset. They don't even see themselves as us. They see themselves as superior. And I'm just like, nigga, you're actually the worm. You're the worm. You're the one. These niggas actually might be worms. They might actually not be human. Like, on God. A lot of niggas say that we got reptilians and lizards. I'm like, nigga, at the end of the day, whatever the conspiracy is, all I know is this is a parasite. This could truly just be a worm. This could be a worm, nigga. Some kind of sophisticated worm that mutated and just needed to use our image for some reason. Anyways, looking at that perspective and hearing it from the Agent Smith, and knowing that that's how there's knowing that there's a group of people who operate like that in this life, I'm like, there's, in comparison to them, there is a large number of us who are just people day to day, but we're not just people. We actually are the gods. They told us we're just the people. They told us that we're filthy. They told us that we're just cattle and all that other stuff because they need to host. So they're not looking at us the way that uh, nature does. Nature created us. Nature is beautiful. We literally come from the beauty of this earth. Like, look at the, like, this is not even the greatest scenery. I'm about to see something even sexier than this tomorrow. But this is still sexy. I love this. Even though there's like human made stuff on top of it, like if you just take all this away, I could picture it. I can vividly see it. If you took away the boats, if you took away all these crates, these houses and all that other stuff, you got the mountains in the back without the houses, like it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But you see humans, even though architecture, a lot of it is shit in comparison to what it could be, I have the ability, due to humans, to be elevated, to be able to see it from this view without having to climb a mountain. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I'm a human enjoying the human experience, and I'm from this. Like, this is me. I'm looking at me. Like, all the beauty that I see here, how majestic it is, I'm that majestic inside. That's me, and outside. That's me. That's you. That's you. And so a parasite's job is to strip you of that power internally, mentally, first, so that you don't even believe who you are, so that you're not self-actualized, so that you don't realize that you are this, so that you never get up and actually like see yourself that way and then act that way, so that it could host from you, because it needs you to be dependent on it. But you don't have to be. It's actually dependent on you. So our power exists within, their power exists within us. They have no power. They have no significance, and they need to be exterminated. And I think that the only way that they can be exterminated is if we move to, like I said, a holistic way of living, because once we do that, then we don't become dependent on any system. We only become dependent on ourselves, other human beings who actually are self-actualized, who contribute. You have this, I have that. Let's trade. Let's do this. Or a lot of times it's just like, what's mine is yours. That's what it really comes down to, is what's mine is yours. I don't feel like anything is scarce because we have everything. We have everything. If, just picture it, if there was a whole field of fruit and veggies, and you got so much that you could feed every human being on earth, all the human beings, a whole big ass, like, just country of food, just all this land of food. All these trees produce it, all the ground produces it from the ground, and there's all these people with different gifts, and they know how to make bread from the wheat, they know how to do all this stuff, bro. Everything that we possibly need. The water is coming from the mountains, and it's just abundant. There's no end to it. That's the earth, just to let you know. I'm not making up some fantasy world. That's literally the earth in its natural form. If you were in front of that, and you had the ability to build a basket, and you start like picking stuff for yourself, and somebody else just came up and wanted what you had right there, like they just wanted it for whatever reason. They just wanted it. They want what's in your basket, but they're not doing it in a malicious way. They're just like, can I have them? Even though there's some they could go get down the way, you're not going to trip. You're not gonna care. You're gonna be like, this is yours. You don't gotta ask me, nigga. This is ours. Like, this is, I didn't say mine. I just picked it. I don't know. I'm just the ones that I was gonna eat, I guess, but I could just go eat the ones right here. Like, there's no scarcity. There's no scarcity. You feel me? There's no scarcity. It's all abundance. The world literally produces all that we need for the animals, for the plants, for us. And so there's just a group that said, no, well, I want it for myself. And they've been doing this for however the fuck long. They're dependent on us because they need us to work the field so that we can actually build the things that they need to exist and have the paradise that they want. If we move to a holistic way of living and we say, well, everything is ours, everything is belongs to us. Like, I don't need a system because we have everything. Nothing is scarce. Then they crumble, they die, just like the parasite who doesn't have any host. Like, they no longer have a host, even if you physically exist right there and they could come and try to off you. They're just crashing out because they're going to die. If they can't get you mentally and spiritually, like, they can't get you. You know what I mean? But the problem is, right now on earth, we have a bunch of people who are extremely gripped up by the hands of the parasite. Their fangs have been deep into them since they were born, and their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. It's been a system for a very long time, and they erase a lot of history so that you don't see what they did to build their system. But that's why I made this channel, again, to help people self-actualize, because if we together get to this point of understanding who we actually are and what we have, we can outsmart the system. Like, I outsmarted the system in my life, and I don't need this system. I don't need it. But I don't have anybody else to do this with that I know that has done it at this level. There are people out there, so I'm going to be in contact with those people as time goes on, as the universe brings us together, and as I do the action of putting myself out there to let them know I exist. But since I'm the only person, or my family's the only family that I know of with just 3 people in it, I'm like, I have to play some of the game. But while I'm playing the game, my view is holistic. So I'm not thinking about taking, I'm only thinking about giving. And as I give, I receive. And as I continue to receive and build abundance for myself, which is not money, money's involved, but it's just like a byproduct. But I utilize that in order to build the system that I'm building that has nothing to do with money, which is just this philosophy, which nobody can take from me. Even if you off me, you can't take this from me. This philosophy is something that exists within, and it will go with me. But then me spreading it through online content and just me existing and talking to people about it, doing community, and I'm now placing it in the minds and hearts of other humans. You know what I mean? So I'm changing the world by playing my part. I really am, because every time I hear people talk, every time I talk to people about it, I hear them silently first. Their eyes are like, and they start looking around because there's something being activated within, because I'm speaking like real truth. I'm not just talking like some spiritual woo woo. I'm not preaching some sermon. I'm just talking to like your essence as a human. And I see them light up, and then they start talking, and they're just like, bro, you really figured it out. Like, you're so right. Because of A, B, and C in my life, I know that that's right. And I'm like, yeah, it is, huh? And they're like, yeah, thank you. Thank you. And shit, I just help somebody else self-actualize. And I'm just like, you had it in you the whole time. I just revealed something. I illuminated this area that they had chained up. You got the key. And I just gave it to you. But you already had it. It's perspective. I just revealed where it was at in your life. Like, look, it's over there. Grab the key and you unlocked it. That's what this is about. That's what this channel is about. And I want you to go on this journey with me. Like, I'm not just saying that as some fucking corny ass YouTuber. Like, go on this journey with me, guys. No, like, actually, like, you got to become the real you and operate as the real you in life. And like, the success of my life depends on you, because we're in this ecosystem together, this symbiotic ecosystem together. I need you. You need me. That's the only thing that we're dependent on, is our community as real human beings and not parasites. My value is yours. Your value is mine. And so on and so forth with our neighbors, with our kids, our family, and all that. Like, it's just It's contagious because everybody wants this, especially in these times where we understand as people who are communicating on these smartphones and receiving information via content through different mediums, that there's something more out here and that we're being robbed. We're being robbed. And it's like time to end that. It's a new age. It's a new age. The sun is finally rising again spiritually and illuminating something up here for us to manifest a new reality that we want to see. And it's been up to us the entire time. I don't know when this world got hijacked this way and we were born into this matrix. So it's obviously, it's something that's way older than the oldest person in this lifetime. But now it's time for something new. And I truly believe, as a self actualized being who understands his purpose, that I play a significant role in really sparking that. And I need you. So that's what this entire journey is about. Everything that you see me do here on YouTube via content, and everything you see me do on other platforms, and everything that you see me do in general in life when it comes to the other crafts that I guess, practice. All of those are a direct reflection of my humanity and my perspective about being self-actualized. This is my message. When you think of me, when you see this red hat, when you see anything that has to do with this image, or when you even think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs or see it around somewhere, when you hear about purpose and manifestation and all that shit, I want you to think about these messages here and the value that I'm extending to you. Not even just me. Don't just think about me. If you're going to think about me, think about the philosophy that I am placing in front of you. That's what I really want. That's what I want to represent. That's what I want to die as, is this person. And I need you. I need you because you have to go and get the physical results. First the spiritual results and the physical results to show the rest of the world who you really are and do the greatest things that you possibly can. To self-actualize is the desire to be the greatest version of yourself, the greatest one can possibly be. That's you. You can do it. There is no limit. There is no limit to your greatness. There's no limit to your humanity. We need you. I need you. I'm gonna end right there. Plus, I'm fucking scared of this wind blowing right here, nigga. I don't trust this platform that I'm standing on, but it survived a storm the other night, but I don't know if the storm did something to it, nigga. I don't know. Yeah, I love you. Peace.